Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and in today's video we are going to be going back into Skylanders Ring of Heroes, and I am going to be giving you guys some early game tips on how to best optimize your leveling up of your characters, and also we're going to be talking a little bit about the use of red potions, which is a very important aspect of this game that you're going to use for a purpose that you totally probably don't expect them to be used. So currently I am on the new account that I started on the global servers. As you can see, I am level 13. I have grinded out for I've probably been actively playing this game for maybe three and a half hours at this point in time. I honestly don't know how long I've actually spent on this account, like with it open. I've had this account created for, I think, a little bit less than 24 hours now. I'm not entirely sure when I created this account yesterday. But anyway, the point is that in that time, I've managed to grind all the way up to almost the end of the 6th island. It seems deceptive, especially if you followed my beta gameplay. It took me 6 full episodes of 30-minute sessions to get all the way up to this point, but if you're actually just running this game on auto, you'll get to this point pretty much no problem. There will be a couple of hang-ups. You might get hung up on some of the bosses. I got hung up for like a split second on Chef Pepperjack, for a moment on Dreamcatcher, a little bit longer on Golden Queen, and now it's kind of looking like Crankcase might actually be the hard wall that I run into, but I think that I'll be able to make it to the 8th island without really having to stop and grind. So the point is that, you know, you might be wondering why am I talking about this? Well, it's because that up to this point, up to the point where you get up to Crankcase, you are basically leveling up your characters as you go, and your characters are getting powerful enough as you go. And I'll do a video talking about how to best follow like the quest line and stuff like that. I'll talk a little bit about that, but basically if you're doing everything right, your characters should be pretty much leveling in time with the enemies. So you'll notice here on this level that the enemies that I'm facing in 6-5 are level 29, whereas my characters are level 33s and 32s respectively. So pretty much as you're going, your characters are kind of leveling up in time, assuming that you have basically exclusively been using 3 characters on a team, which the 3 that you should be using are pretty much Hot Dog, Blades, and Stealth Elf, which seems deceptive because you'll have all these different characters to start with. When you start the game, you pretty much only want to be using the same characters for your grinding at the get-go. Eventually, you'll be able to start leveling up some of your other characters. You can see here I've got about 14 characters unlocked on this account, but I only actually have 3 of them actually leveled up to level 30, and then the other 2, which is Roller Brawl and Spyro, I've actually been putting them in the spectator slot, and that's how they've gotten up to level 20. So anyway, my point is that up to this point, and pretty much up to Island 8, you will be leveling in time with the enemies. There won't be any sort of brick wall that you should run into, and you should be able to fairly easily do this. So you're wondering, okay, so once you hit that brick wall, which I haven't hit on this account, but of course I dealt with it on the other account, you're probably thinking to yourself, what am I supposed to do? How am I actually supposed to grind this stuff out to get more powerful so that I can actually clear the campaign? Well, so there's multiple places to grind, and this is sort of, I think, where people can kind of get a little confused. Do you grind the islands, the elemental islands, or do you grind the distorted dimension? Well, obviously for levels, this should be a no-brainer. You want to do the islands. The islands are 100% the best way to go for actually grinding out the levels. You pretty much just want to put it on 10 times auto, do something else, and like that's how you need to be grinding out these levels. That is the most effective way to grind out levels in this game. Distorted dimension is incredibly important, but it is not important when you're just trying to do leveling up. Now, this may be confusing for some people because you might think to yourself, well, you want the distorted dimension, right? Because you need to be able to power up your characters. Well, actually powering up your characters really isn't as game-changing as you might think it is. Like, it's important, don't get me wrong, and you need it if you're gonna max out your characters. But in terms of actual raw power going up, powering up and evolving does next to nothing in terms of the stats. Like here you can see, okay, he gets 20 more attack. He gets, 12 defense, and he gets 39 HP. That's like the same thing as maybe a level. And so you can power them up 5 times and then evolve them. That's the same as 6 levels. Whereas just grinding out on the same star level from level 30 to level 40, so much more impactful. Plus, you literally cannot even power them up until they've hit max level. So it seems straightforward, the leveling up process. You know, do the Shattered Islands and stuff like that. One thing that I want you guys to keep in mind, though, is that you need to be conscious of the ones that you're doing, of the Shattered Islands that you're doing. And for this, I'm actually going to go hop over onto my other account to show you guys this, because it's going to better demonstrate sort of how... what I'm talking about here. Some islands are better to grind than others, and that seems confusing because the higher the level mission you're completing, the more experience you're going to get. And so maybe you're just trying to level up as fast as possible. That's okay, that's a valid strategy, but there are definitely islands, especially early game, that you should be grinding over others. Now, I'm going to have an entire full video talking about why Broccoli Guy is the absolute best villain, and why everybody needs to be getting Broccoli Guy as their first villain. But in my opinion, the island that you should be grinding to try to level up your characters is without a doubt the Misty Bog. The Misty Bog is 100% the best island to grind. Why is this? Because it drops Broccoli Guy's soul stones. If you can do it on normal, do it on normal. If you can't do it on normal, don't worry, because there's a benefit to doing it on easy. If you can do it, whoops, that's Abandoned Factory. If you can do this on easy, you'll manage to get probably one of you'll get one of the 1-star units. You'll get Snapshot Soul Stones. And actually, I think that it could potentially be ideal to grind on easy, even though you're getting less experience, which seems super counterintuitive, especially if you're just trying to level up as fast as possible. But trust me, getting these Snapshot and getting these Broccoli Guy Soul Stones, in addition to actually getting those valuable levels, is so important. I cannot possibly overstate the importance of leveling these two units up. On this account, you'll notice Snapshot is almost at max level completely. He is at 70 out of 70 levels. He is awakened and he's powered up 4 times. Literally the only thing that's not occurred is this last power-up session. He's almost done. He's almost completely done in terms of actual powering up. If we come over to Broccoli Guy, you'll actually notice the same thing. He's level 69, he's been powered up 5 times, and he has been max skilled up. Now, you don't have to devote that much attention into Broccoli Guy, but these guys are so important in terms of units. You cannot possibly overstate their value. So grinding easy Misty Bog levels, 4 levels, like leveling up your characters, is 100% the way to go, and that is the way that I am going to recommend for early game players. That's how you want to grind your levels, right there. So if that's all you were looking for, that's it. But there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, and that is red potions. Red potions are extremely counterintuitive because you think, build these magic cauldrons out here. I'm going to collect all this stuff, but build these magic cauldrons, right? For the red potions, so you can level up your characters faster, right? That's what you think when you build them. No, that's not what you want them for at all. Now, red potions can be useful, but pretty much they're only useful for actually leveling up characters early game. I've used some of those red potions on my alternate account, on the global account, to catch up a couple of my characters and to try to help, you know, basically make it go faster so I don't have to spend all day grinding when I don't have all day, basically. So they're useful for that. But once you get into late game to mid game, I would still only consider this account a mid game account. It's not even a late game account. It's literally only a mid game account. So, you know, you're kind of you get to the point and you're like, okay, what do I do with these red potions now? Because you're paying per experience 10 gold, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but look at this Stealth Elf. Stealth Elf requires 32,000 experience to level up. Once you get to level 67, or, you know, equivalent levels, it's going to take 32,000 experience. Multiply that by 10, you're looking at 320,000 gold. Now, if you look at my total value of gold on this account, you'll notice that I have over 700,000 gold. That's enough for literally 2 levels of leveling up Stealth Elf or any other high-level character. Like, I have all these potions that I haven't done anything with. Look what it would cost me to level her up. 32,000, or sorry, not 32,000, 320,000. That's insane. You can use that gold for so many other things that are 1,000 times more useful, whether that be power-ups, evolutions, awakenings, using blue potions on your villains, because blue potions actually are usable. They're actually super important, and you can see it's still quite expensive to level up Broccoli Guy, but that's the only way to level up villains. Blue potions are useful because that's the only way to level them up. But red potions, on the other hand, pretty much become become useless once you get into the mid-game, because it gets to the point where it costs an exorbitant amount of money to actually do anything with these red potions. So what do you even want to use these things for? Why are red potions in the game? Well, I don't know if this is why red potions are in the game, but this is what you should be doing with them. What you want to do is you want to go to your inventory, you want to go to materials, and you literally just want to sell them. Because look at this. So I've got 326 of these small potions. Sell that for 3,260 gold. Come here, take these medium potions. I have 225 of them. I'm going to sell them 9,000 gold. And take these things, 92 of them, sell them for 200 a pop, 18,000 gold. Boom. It's like 30,000 more gold right there. That's actually what you want red potions for. To sell them, not for experience. Literally do not use these things on your Skylanders once they get above, like, I would say level 40. They're useful, again, they're useful early game, because especially when you're trying to do, what is it, the Mirage Tower. The Mirage Tower requires you to have a team of 6. If you've only grinded up with a team of 3 and then 2 in the spectator slots, and you want to actually have 6 evenly leveled Skylanders up to like level 40 or something like that, by all means, use red potions, because you're going to have an abundance of gold early game when you're still not actually over, when you're not to the point where you're actually powering up and evolving characters on a regular basis. They're still going to be useful to use in that sense. But once you're in the mid-game, sell them. Build these cauldrons as a forward investment. I did the calculations, and I think for the small cauldron at level 1, the amount of gold that it costs to actually build that cauldron, you'll get that money back in like a month, unless I did the math wrong. It might be faster, it might be slower, but you will get that money back. So if you have a surplus of gold that you're not doing anything with at the time, buy those cauldrons so that you can make those potions to sell them off in the future. It's a worthy investment, it really is, and I'm sure you can go through, you can do the math, and you can see, okay, how long is it going to take for me to recoup my money at this point, or whatever. That's all your judgment, and it's easy math to do, but yeah, you want to be selling these things, and you want to not be using them to level up your characters, because it's pretty much useless. So I hope this provided you a good guide for actually how to grind characters out and how to level them up, and how to, you know, sort of try to figure out how to progress. Remember, you want to be progressing with the enemies, and you probably will early game to start with. Once you grinded out the Misty Bog, once you have Broccoli Guy and Snapshot up to a place you're happy with, or if you really do just want to grind faster, grind where you want. It really doesn't matter, but honestly, that's what I have been doing on this account up until I actually finally got enough soul stones to max out Broccoli Guy. So it's something that you can do for a while. Maybe you don't want to, but I think that it is a valid way to grind for soul stones and for experience. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to have more tutorials coming soon. Like I said, I will have a video on why Broccoli Guy is so good, and I will have a video talking about Snapshot, because I want to make a video about all the 1-star units. So that's Snapshot, Tough Luck, Blades, and Hot Dog. I'll have a video out about all 4 of those. I want to do those together because there's not a whole lot to talk about each unit specifically. At least I don't have to say a lot. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for a lot more content coming soon. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and shout out to all my patrons on Patreon, especially Portal Power TV and Cosmic Dragon Gaming. See you guys next time.